Okay, so it is 4 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order on the Finance Committee, Thursday, May 2nd. Just note that this meeting will be in person and is being recorded, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, for the purpose of the minutes, Adam Silver's not here, Phil's not here, and Brian's not here, and Carrie said she might be late. But we have a quorum. We have 5 people. So, Mr. Finance Director, Article 11.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the last article we have to vote on the warrant for the spring is Article 11. And this article is for the Police Brotherhood ratification that actually just took place. And this funds the retros for 23 and 24 out of the contracts that they just settled. And this allows us to at least get the retro done. And then the remainder of that will be in the, this is actually going to take a little bit, but the remainder of the funding will be in the fall, for the fall town meeting. So this is not the complete amount that's going to be allocated for the contract. This is just to get the 23 and 24 retro done. So we're taking 310 from the collective bargaining stabilization fund, and then personnel services, and then for 23, and then for fiscal 24, we're taking 390 from the collective bargaining stabilization fund, and then 260 from the tax levy.
Okay.
So in the collective bargaining stabilization fund, there's $770,000 currently.
Aaron, what was the settlement? You know that's going to be asked at, was it a 3-year contract and at what?
I believe it's 3 years. The Brotherhood has approved it. The select board, it's going to go to the select board at the next meeting. I'm not sure if, what the exact details were of the contract, if it was 3, 3, and 3, or 3 plus 2 each year. But I know it was, I know that the Brotherhood has ratified it and is ready to go to the select board. But I think those are the details.
If it's a 3-year contract, in another year, they're going to be negotiating a contract again because this is retroactive for 2 years?
On fiscal, when fiscal 20, the end of fiscal 25, I would assume that they would.
They'll be
Motion
back
again?
at the table again.
Yep.
Okay, somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll make a motion. Somebody want a second?
Second.
Second by Janine. Discussion? Questions?
Not this time.
Just for the wording of my warrant rationale, this is for the settlement of the Police Brotherhood Union? Okay.
Okay, we ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? See none? 5-0-0.
I just got one more question. I'm sorry, I didn't think. The budget that we approved, does that account for any increases in, it did?
Yes.
So, but yet we still got to come back in the fall? It wasn't enough?
Right, so the budget, the line items that were budgeted for FY '25 normal budget and our projections is a 3%. So we still have to come back in the fall for the additional amount of money that was given to them. It's a complex calculation because there's sergeants and lieutenants, and they're changing ranks, and so it would take payroll quite some time to figure this out, so to get it done. So we just needed the time between now and the fall to accomplish that.
Yeah.
So that completes the warrant.
I got a question, Gary, for me. How many non-union personnel do we have working at the police station? And with that being said, would their raises follow the guidelines of the Brotherhood? In other words, would they be getting the same 3%?
From my understanding, it doesn't, some of them are contract, like the chief, the assistants that are under him. I don't believe that they have the same, these are patrol officers.
Okay, they wouldn't be following the same guidelines?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
So that completes the warrant.
Okay.
And did you want to go over the rationales before we talk
Well-
about the memo? I don't know.
Janine had a good point. The letter, we have to get the letter out first.
Yes. Yep.
So we'd rather come up with the letter. I sent you a paragraph that I wanted to
Yeah.
add, but I think we should just go line by line and,
Sure. So this is the, oh, so Terry went through and just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I took her recommendations, incorporated in what you're going to see right now. But let me just close out of this.
And does it include Bob's paragraph as well?
No, I have to include that.
no.
So the first three paragraphs are very straightforward, right? It's basically, we're recommending your support, Schedule A, enterprise funds, capital.
All right, do you want?
Yes, these are the numbers that are coming from the FY '25
All right,
budget.
do you want me to read it? And that way,
I need to read the first
You
three.
need to read it?
I'll read it.
The only question I have is, because I didn't look at the numbers that closely, and Brian gave some feedback that they need to be looked at again.
Well, I think he's more concerned about, he's not, the numbers that are in the budget, in the graphs are not what we're reflecting at the top here. These are factual numbers from the budget. What he's concerned about is, are we pulling in newer data on the graphs? And I can go back and look at that.
Okay.
I'll look at that.
We are recommending your support for fiscal year 2025 general fund operating budget of 103.6 million, an increase of 3.8% over the current fiscal year budget. Based on the revenue projections, this will result in a break-even budget. In addition, 4.6 million in state and county assessments are allocated and mandatory and not subject to a vote from town meeting. In effect, the total general fund budget for fiscal year 2025 will be 103.6. I mean, we've already said the 103.6. We're repeating ourselves. Do we need that last line?
What was that again?
The last line says, in effect, the total general fund budget for fiscal year 2025 will be 103.6 million. We've already said that in the
It's
first
probably
line.
repetitive.
Okay.
I'll just delete it.
Okay, and can you just remind us about the 4.6 million, the county assessment that's,
Those are all, those are the
That's-
allocations that come back to us, so everything that we have to pay, like the assessments for the county, the assessments for, they come off the cherry sheet, these are all chargebacks to the town.
okay.
But that doesn't, is that part of the 2.5? It's not, right? It's. I'm
No,
wondering if
that's, those, so that comes off the cherry sheets. So the levy and the, so think of it as, the levy is what we bill locally, so, you know, the real estate, personal property. This is a straight county assessment. Any bill, we get billed like, and they net that off of our cherry sheets. Sometimes we get hard billed from the county, or they're taking it off our cherry sheet. Those are the assessments.
Let me ask it a different way. What is the importance of saying in addition 4.6 million in state and county? Why is that? I think they should know that. I'm just wondering what the importance is of saying.
Well, I think it's important to know that the town is responsible for additional assessments, that,
Okay.
I think it's more transparent. If someone was to pull the detail of like the cherry sheet, and they see that we receive 15 million, then you also need to see that there's about $1 million of assessment that gets allocated also, that we pay back. Mosquito control, I mean, you can name a whole bunch of them that are in this number.
So is the state and county assessments 1.3%? Is that, so it should be only 2.5, and then the 3.8 includes the state and county? You know
Well,
what I'm asking?
so you're talking about the 2.5%?
Yeah.
So it's something totally different. So the 2.5% is based on valuation of property, personal property and real estate. This county assessment comes off the cherry sheet, so we consider that another source of revenue. That's an additional source of revenue. The tax levy is a source of revenue, and so are the local receipts.
So the actual expenses have increased 3.8%?
Correct,
Same, okay.
correct, in the budget itself.
So this 4.6%, 4.6 million is in addition to the 103 million, .6.
No.
No, it isn't, no.
No.
Okay, so that, well.
Therein lies the
let me
whole
finish.
problem, it's the wording.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't even say in addition.
That's my
Yeah,
point.
so.
It should say with respect,
play
or
on
something like
It
that.
shouldn't say in
Yeah.
addition.
It
Or
should
of
say.
which.
So get rid of in addition and just say
Yeah.
$4.6 million.
No, no, no,
This
what
includes,
would
Oh,
Carrie just
This
said.
Say-
includes,
Right,
perfect.
yeah,
This
because it makes it
includes-
sound
This
like you're
includes-
adding on to the,
It definitely does, that's a
103.6.
good point,
I
made.
agree with you, Gary, it makes sense to put that out there, but.
Yeah, so this includes,
Yeah, this includes 4.6, yeah.
yeah, right.
That's better wording, yeah,
Yep.
I agree.
Okay,
Okay, let me just,
okay, okay.
okay.
Okay, next, we are also recommending your support for fiscal year 2025 enterprise budgets, water, sewer, solid waste, waterways, totaling 14.7 million. Of that total, 2.9 million is paid to the general fund for indirect costs.
Oh, one second, you know what we missed in here?
What's that?
DCTV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
can't forget that.
And I think we should again say what the increase is of last year's, if we
Good idea.
can, if, I know it's different funds, but
Okay.
you'd have to figure that out, I'm sure.
So the 2.9 million includes DCTV?
Yes.
Okay. Of that total, 2.9 million is paid to the general fund for indirect costs incurred by the town in support of the enterprise funds. All the enterprise funds are supported by user fees, which are increased over time to cover increased costs. And so do we want to add any percentage increase, like Terry said, or we just?
What did you want to put in there, Terry?
The statement that to be consistent, an increase of what percent over the current
No.
fiscal year budget?
Oh, okay, don't lose that.
Applied for undo, huh?
Yeah.
Love that backbite.
Let's see, so over here we'll put an increase of,
How much was the increase?
How much was the increase in all those sewer funds over last year?
how much was the increase of?
Yeah, so what was it last year? And then
No,
we
all
can
of them
figure out what
together. You mean the total of the enterprise
Yeah,
funds
so-
percentage? Yeah.
How much did the enterprise funds going up, I guess?
Oh, it was about a 1% increase.
Okay.
One,
All right,
about,
can we add that line, and
Across
then when
all
you
of
finalize that number, put the percentage increase in?
so I'll put in right here a placeholder,
Yeah.
I'll just say 1.5. Over FY '24. Well, this resulted in a,
This
It almost
resulted,
feels like that needs to go
Yeah,
up
this
higher in the paragraph.
increased cost, which resulted in a 1.5% increase over FY
Yeah.
'24.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I have a question, Gary,
Yes.
if I may. Indirect costs, do we have to put like a such as what the indirect costs were, just for a brief description, for town meetings clarity?
What the indirect costs were?
Yeah, in it.
Well, it includes health and, it's all those categories.
Retirement.
Yeah, I understand that, but you think we should state that in that narrative, indirect
We could
costs
put
such as?
yeah, retirement, health insurance.
Exactly, because that we, eliminate
More
some,
clarification,
correct,
less likely to get asked.
yep.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll put- Yeah, that's a little bit,
Clearer, okay.
yeah, okay.
Because somebody's gonna ask that question.
Yep. Finally, go ahead. Okay, finally, we are recommending your support for fiscal year 2025 Springtown capital budget of $2,304,100. These capital expenses will be supported with $1,433,250 of certified surplus revenue, $286,000 in water waste enterprise fund retained earnings, and $250,000 in water retained earnings, $300,000 in sewer retained earnings, and $34,850 in waterways retained earnings. It's pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should say "and" in front of FY,
what?
AN.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Good catch.
300,000
the
needs
graphs.
another zero up there.
Go ahead,
Say that
Brad.
again?
Oh,
300,000 needs
good
another
catch, yeah, it's
zero.
another one. 300,000 is a,
Yeah.
listen,
Is that what I said?
The zero
That's how
does
I
really
read it.
count there.
Yeah,
That's how I read
good
it.
catch.
So we've got the graphs, some of the graphs. This is the breakout of the expenses. This will be in color when we
Let me
print
see
it.
what this is.
These are the standard ones we used last year. We updated it. All the, with the revenues. Local receipts, so I updated this.
9, 12.
State aid, I updated this. To bring in 25. So we've got more than 10 years here, but I think it's a good
It's a
graph and a good trend to look
Good
at.
indication, yeah.
Well, I'm still working at, check and make sure the,
What do you
What do
want?
you want, the first one? Bob?
yeah, the first one, I make sure it equals 100%.
Oh,
Oh, it ties up to 100, yeah.
you want to add it up to make sure?
Yeah, I did, I
Yeah.
did.
Does
While
it
you were
add up?
changing things, that's why.
That's embarrassing if it does, yeah.
General fund operating expenses,
19,100, yep.
operating revenue, okay, I'm still looking at operating revenue, okay, so, so
We, all right. that's,
73.
100, yeah.
Yeah, 5, 25.
97.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's 100%.
Yeah,
Tax levy we added in. I added
all right, can we go back to
24.
local receipts? You're going too fast for me.
I agree.
All right, local receipts. So 2024 is still estimated because we still
Yes.
expect some money in,
Yep.
right?
And then 25 is estimated also.
And so 2023, why was 2023 higher than all? Is there a reason?
Say it again, Bob?
Why is 2023 higher?
Why is it higher?
Yeah. Because it's local receipts.
Yeah, it could have been building. Remember, we had a big spike in the building because of,
Building permits?
yeah, because of that
Understand.
one permit was over $1 million, I think it was over $1 million.
Oh, that's right, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be the big driver, because everything else is pretty.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Motor vehicles the same, everything is.
okay, all right,
So we were conservative, obviously, we're being conservative in 25,
yeah.
somewhere in between 23 and 24.
But you increased it in 25 from 24. What do you expect to happen in
Yeah.
25?
Well, we're still receiving estimates in 20, we're only, so in 24, we're still
Just got
only
a
in,
couple months.
we're only in April right now. So we still have, May, actually, we still
Yeah.
have 2
2
months.
I
worth
think
of-
24 is gonna come up more.
Oh, 24 will be probably
Oh,
a
wow.
little under 23,
Okay,
or maybe just reach 23, because we're
Okay.
way above our estimates now
Okay.
for revenues.
okay.
And we're
So-
still conservative,
Okay,
being conservative in 25.
so the question is a town meeting member going to try to increase revenue?
Well, they can't,
I know,
yeah. They can only move funds from budget to budget, they
yeah,
can't,
yeah, okay,
can't try to, they can't increase the revenue.
okay,
Maybe we should put a footnote.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, Dominant State Aid Cherry Sheet fiscal year 2009 through 25.
Yeah, so 25 is, we've gotten some preliminary numbers from the state, still nothing anywhere near what, I mean, they increase at $50,000 or $100,000. That's about it over last year's numbers. So we're still hovering about 15 point, whatever that is, 15.2 million, 15.3 million in the state aid.
So if you look at, I'm not sure what happened in 2009, but,
You had the recession.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
no, so they gave us more, is that what it is?
Well,
2009,
if you think about the receipts coming out of the state, they're building their budget, so in 2010 is really when the economy kind of,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
08
understand.
really is where it started, but then you started to get the actuals coming in the next 2 years.
But after you've taken inflation from 2009 to 2025, it's less money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you look at, I mean, we haven't even, I mean, we've gone from 12 to 25, which is 13 years, we've only increased $2 million in state aid.
Wow.
If you look at the graph, I mean, we're at 12 million there in 2012, and now we're at 14 million now. We've only increased state aid by $2 million to the town of Dartmouth.
Oh, yeah.
And this is made up of two things, right? The chapter 7, is that chapter 70? and
Chapter 90, chapter 70,
Chapter 70.
and then smaller items like lottery and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
This raises a question too, and maybe, would it be beneficial if we stated something like that to explain the trends, which you just
Well, I
articulated
think
on?
down in the bottom piece of the narrative, it does discuss. If it doesn't, then we need to, I agree.
Yeah,
That state aid trend has been, I think we mentioned that in the
We have
bottom
mentioned
piece.
it
You might
before.
have
I don't know if we
mentioned
did
it
it this
there.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in the same token, would it be for clarification's sake?
Just
I
putting
mean,
a
you
little
have a
page,
graph, and then right underneath the graph, you have the explanation
A little explanation. to
why,
it.
rather than somebody flipping back to the narrative to try to explain the graph and so on and so forth. Just an idea, Bob, it doesn't have to be
No,
that way.
I'm just
but-
saying, you know, this is a calculation by the state, so
we don't have any control over
we
it. I
don't have any
mean,
control.
You don't have any control over it, you can maybe explain, why the,
or we could put at the bottom of the narrative, as the above graph
Right.
reflects,
Yeah.
state aid has
Yeah,
been
that's
stagnant
fine
for the last,
Yes.
correct, that's what I
Yeah,
would.
like a
Yeah.
little
So
explanation.
can
Yeah,
you
that's
add
what I
that
would
to
like
that?
to see.
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
idea.
Yeah.
You can't do
That's
it
all
right
you have
now,
to
right?
put,
I agree,
really.
because when you look at it, you might not be able to really
Grasp it.
reference it
Yeah.
back to
That's
that
right.
paragraph.
That's right.
so, I mean, if you want to go to the next one, then we can go to the narrative and then
Yeah, okay.
see what. So this is the tax, these are the levies by year.
All right.
I updated 24, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 years of levy.
That's true, and personal property.
And if you see the residential increases about $2 million, roughly 1.5, then $2 million every year.
So
Yeah.
commercial only
Commercial.
went up $300,000? Wow.
But I just figured it out, from 2019 to 2024, residential is about 18% increase, and commercial is 21% increase. It's just a smaller amount of money,
Residential was 18 and
about
commercial was.
18, and the commercial is about 20, that's rough, I just,
Gary, why are we showing this in text? I think this would be more, this would be perfect to show in a bar chart.
Yeah, we can put it in a bar chart. This was like,
I think it has more impact when you can,
this was
Yeah.
last
That's a
year's.
good idea. I actually find this slide sort of offensive to my eyes, with all these
It's
capital.
busy. It's busy.
Turn it into a
bar chart.
graph
All
or.
right, all right.
Yeah.
That'd be good,
A lot more visual appeal.
that'd be good.
Okay, and then now we get with the state graphs. These are coming off the Division of Local Services website. So what I did was just went on and, got the additional data from whatever Brian had sent me. I know there's a couple of graphs he wants me to change. So this is right off their website. It shows a decline, I think it was like 33,406 was the population for 2025. This is coming right off their website.
Why is that when I drive down Route 6, I don't feel like the population is decreasing?
They're all on Route 6.
Norfolk corner.
They're all on Route 6.
Because we don't have walls around our town, John.
This is interesting
They
to
come in to
see,
do
'cause
things.
you wonder what the
Well, if you
driver
look-
is.
Right, if you look like at 2019, so, I mean, the graph, because it's so large,
Yeah.
is kind of like almost deceiving, because even though we're talking about not a really major swing, I mean,
Yeah.
34 to, 33, okay,
Yes,
it's
right.
1,000, it's about 1,000,
Right,
1,000, but because it looks so dramatic, I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like a big drop-off. I mean, 1,000 residents.
We can't do this right now, but at some point, it would be good to know what the population groups are, because anecdotally, people are saying that young people can't afford to live here, and other people say seniors can't afford to live here. So it would be interesting to know,
By population?
yeah,
By
it's not-
segment?
not today,
Not today,
not for this.
yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm just saying sometime in the
Too
future.
much work.
Yeah.
no
But they
Brian.
also
That's a lot of
say
work.
That is a
It makes
lot
me
of work.
very
the senior
curious.
population is growing. We've heard that from the
Amy,
Council
So
on
is it
Aging.
younger population? And the population doesn't mean they own land.
It'd just be
The
interesting to
population
see
could
how
be
it broke
rentals.
out.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't mean that they're homeowners.
Right.
Correct, they just live here.
Or it could be people living with their parents, maybe they moved out. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up and took the kids and.
Right, that's a whole other analysis if you start looking at it that way,
Right.
which is interesting, but
It's very,
But
makes
it's-
me very curious.
we could have all kinds of
Well,
graphs.
I'll do that in my spare time.
Okay.
The population
The next meeting.
is a indication of the future, you know? Okay,
So,
per capita,
income, this is going to 49,314, where it was 41,898, so it took a jump. Which is very interesting.
yeah, no, I just,
Well, that could be because of the averages, how you're calculating the average too. There's less people or more people or what?
And I'm not sure what calculators they're using on the state's website to generate this
And they
information.
went up to 2025 based on,
Yeah, it's hard to tell,
only because otherwise it's flatter.
yeah.
Because
yeah.
I've pulled these numbers when we were looking at something else. I think
Yeah.
when we were doing the override stuff, and all of a sudden it's like this? I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah, it's very hard to,
well, you can't have 2025 in here, right? I mean, like,
That's
you don't
kind
know.
of,
that, it had it on the website.
Yeah,
that's predicting
Well,
a
that-
jump that I don't follow,
then that's-
honestly.
I mean, unless we want to take it off. I mean,
Well, that's just, well, they're
I
right.
think it's
just-
misleading.
It's idle speculation.
yeah,
We don't
Yeah.
know.
yeah. That could be the reason why they're,
so you can't
It's off
touch
the
this
charts.
graph because it comes from the state.
What is it?
right? You can't eliminate 25, can you?
well, I could probably
You
go
can
here.
leave out a year, I imagine.
Get rid of it.
All
You
right,
can leave out a
yeah,
year.
yeah,
Just,
yeah.
just drop it back.
Yeah, I'll take, I'll
Oh,
I'll
that's
end up, I'll just,
terribly misleading. Wow, our per capita income just went,
Sorry, state of Massachusetts.
well, in the actual, probably next year, it'll probably be somewhere maybe in between.
That's what I was thinking.
Or even
exactly,
flat.
it might do, yeah, I mean, ideally, it might go up a little.
Yeah.
For Dartmouth.
They obviously don't know I retired.
So, yeah, I'll update you.
Or how
I'll
well
knock
all
this
my
off.
stocks are doing.
Yeah,
I'm confused. Is this for the state or for the town?
this is the, well, it's.
All
for
the ones that
town,
you
but
see
it's not
now
by the state.
are from the state.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they're all,
That's what I thought, yeah, it's not the,
so this is probably a projection more than anything else.
Yeah, it's gotta be a projection.
They're dreaming.
okay.
So, new growth value by property class. This is from, I couldn't get any data from '24. It wouldn't allow me to pull in the data from '24. I don't know why,
It's not
off the
in there
website.
Well, 24 is not done,
Let's
so.
fill in
Yeah, we're
24.
only barely
I'm
into
not,
it.
I'm not.
Yeah,
This one.
that's why it was surprising the last one had 25 on there.
So
4
we
months.
just, so the
Yeah.
This
blue
shows
is,
it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's 10 years here, so.
yeah. So,
What happened in 2016?
I know, I was just thinking.
is that all South Coast and all the medical buildings?
2016.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did do, that's right.
Commercial. Could be.
Yeah, I bet you that is
I
it.
feel like they're older, but maybe not.
Well, the newer facility at.
Ford's Corner.
At Ford's
Ford's
Corner,
Corner,
yeah,
yeah.
that was around, yeah, that was around that time.
Expansion of the.
That was around
Yeah.
that time.
Next to
Okay.
the
Yeah,
Coast
yeah,
Road
yeah.
was at,
Yeah, I think that was around that time frame.
Yeah, okay.
So this one here, I think this is the one Brian wants me to update, wasn't it, Terry? Revenue source by fiscal year in total. I think what happened here is, it's taking the total for every year, you know? And this is the website that he gave me, and I ran it, and this is what came out, so I don't know.
Well,
The chart on revenue by
Revenue
fiscal
source
year.
by fiscal year in total. Per fiscal year. Let me see what, ex levy state aid. I don't, oh, this is only my opinion, but we're giving all these already. You know, I don't know if this chart really
Shows
is
anything?
necessary, because we're giving every single one of them individually. All this is doing is plotting it on a graph. We're showing state aid, we're showing local receipts, we're showing the levy.
No, that's true.
So I don't know,
It's kind of redundant.
Yeah, I think it is, I don't know.
Doesn't seem
Yeah.
overly informative, but
no.
It doesn't seem.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
like
it really
it.
doesn't.
Yeah, I think it's more clear, much clearer if you see them individually, you know, because you can see the trend on each category.
Yeah,
I'm fine with taking it out.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
okay
take
taking
it out.
if that's what people want to do.
Yep.
And then this is the revenues, revenues versus the expenses. This is something that we added in, this is new. And as you can see, kind of what Bob was showed us
yeah.
a few months ago. 25, 26, 27, okay, 28, then the graphs start to get closer. And then in 31, the expenses start to outstrip the revenues.
This is a good illustration.
For that.
Yeah, that's what Brian's, way
Yeah,
back when.
well, Bob had given
Well,
us
Bob
a,
just,
Well, exactly,
50-year
he just
projection.
expanded it, yes,
Yeah.
I realize that, yeah.
so,
yeah, and this is a nice graph to really, it gives you a nice visual
Yeah, so-
of what Bob did.
So-
yeah.
you know.
So,
So what are we saying the source is on this? Because every other one, we have a source, we don't have a source on that.
oh, you mean the bottom? This is, finance department.
Finance, okay.
Yeah, so I'll add that in.
So,
Yeah, good.
Just say it, make sure
Should
this,
have the source. And can we put estimated revenues and expenses?
Yeah.
Because that's just an estimate. That's-
It is, yeah,
Good point.
yeah, excellent.
yeah.
I was sitting on this side, you really messed me up today. I'm used to seeing it.
Over here, we'll put
Usually sit here, though.
I do.
estimated.
estimated.
Right here. Sure.
Oh, what's going on here?
John Con-
Yeah,
Right.
down and up, John Stevens.
okay.
And then this one, we're gonna,
See you there.
this one we're gonna get rid
I'll
of.
get rid of that one, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was waiting for my daughter.
So now we get into the budget summary and then the conclusion.
Okay.
Gary, can I just read you one sentence from Brian? He said that, I think the chart with revenue and expenses, so I'm thinking expenses, should say that it's only the operational budget and not the needs for infrastructure expenditure. I know there's some capital in there, right? But no-
You're talking here, on this chart here?
No, the very first page, the very first chart.
One of the pie charts?
Yep. I mean, the point he's trying to make is, we don't have the money in the budget that we need to do infrastructure. He wants to emphasize it there, I think.
Well, how can you? It says
Yeah, it's
operating
just-
expenses.
Say that again?
Yeah,
That
these are
specifically
operating
says
expenses.
operating expenses. You can't throw, we can put it in our write-up, but.
I would rather, I would
'Cause that's
recommend you
just
put it in the
operating
write-up and not on the
expenses,
chart.
True, because it estimate, I mean, I understand the point he's trying to make, of course, but how would you put that in there?
Yeah, these are true operating expenses, so if we were to say that, if we were to put general fund operating expenses net of long-term capital, or whatever that would be, I think that would be kind of maybe misleading
Yeah.
on the chart.
You'd have,
I think, well, it was covered somewhat in the conclusion, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we talk about long-term in the,
Yeah,
in
seems
the-
like there was
in the
some
bottom.
good detail.
yep.
okay, so we're gonna graph that. All right, so the summary. Now, Terry had added and subtracted some stuff in here, so I thought that the revisions were good that she had sent us, and I incorporated it in here.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have a paragraph I want to put in.
Yeah.
And we'll.
I got it over here, we can cut and paste wherever you
Yeah,
want it.
okay. Okay. Okay, so you want me to start reading? We'll do one
Wanna read?
paragraph at a time?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay. The review process for fiscal year 2025 budget continues to be a difficult one. We believe that all of the departmental administrators worked hard to keep their requests at a minimum. However, in a number of cases, requests exceeded the resources available.
Want to change that? Oh, okay.
No,
Oh.
we gotta talk about using school choice funds at some point.
It's in
Oh,
there.
it's in there, it's down,
Okay, all right,
Terry
okay,
did
all
some
right, okay,
revisions.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, no, there
okay.
is.
Okay, just not at the beginning, okay. In addition to collectively, the departments are seeking 24.4 million in capital support. And as noted above, we are only available to recommend 2.3 million. In effect, we believe we are under-investing in our facilities and equipment, particularly in water and sewer infrastructure. I mean, how much, of the 24.4, how much is the schools? I think we should add the schools to that. I mean, let's put it, the big thing with the schools is obviously the new schools.
Right, so we're talking short-term here, that would be more
Okay, all
long-term.
right.
Right, that's not,
Yeah.
the-
Yeah.
the long term is that's gonna have to be separate, but I think, because I think it's minimal capital for the schools in here.
For the
right?
schools, okay, all right.
Yeah, I can,
It's more about the focus on schools was the operating budget, that it's
Okay, all right,
crazy now,
okay,
it's gonna be crazy.
all right. We're good with that? As all town meetings are aware, Proposition 2.5 implemented statewide in 1980 places constraints on the overall amount of the overall property taxes that can be increased. Over time, this constraint has forced some variable trade-offs and inefficiencies. In a time of new growth, these trade-offs can be accommodated. I don't know if this is where we want to put my thing in.
what, okay.
I'll let the group decide if that's just,
Depends what your paragraph says.
yeah, no, that's,
That's what I was just thinking.
yeah, I try to keep it as simple as I can, just,
And I wouldn't break trade-offs in half. I would push it to the next line.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's the other thing that offends my eyes.
My computer's all highlighted because I have like corrector things on it, so.
okay, so this is what I wrote. In addition,
I'm gonna drop it in here, Bob, so we
Yeah,
can have
drop it
that.
in. It's hard to read when it's highlighted in gray. Okay.
well, I can read it.
You wrote it. You have it, must have it memorized. Come on.
Here.
Well, it would be after that line.
Well, I'll just drop it in here. so just
Okay,
for-
all right, okay.
You can rearrange it. Let's read it first.
All right, this is what I put. In addition to reviewing the 2025 budget in detail, we also looked at actual expenditures from 2021 to 2023, excluding debt service. Expenditures increased 4.822% on an annual basis, with the expected revenue limited by Proposition 2.5, state aid flat and not keeping up with inflation, and our current debt service low.
That's a heck of a sentence.
Yeah, no, I know. But expected to increase significantly in the town of Dartmouth is headed for financial challenges. So I just, we got, the thoughts are there, we just gotta make the sentence right.
Oh, so, okay, so right now it's in the wrong position, right?
Yeah.
You want it after the
Yeah,
paragraph that
no, but
already
I just,
mentions. No, I just,
from
for
butt on.
my own
We gotta,
flow.
we gotta work on from butt on.
I think it's good where it's at, because then the next paragraph is, as all town meetings, I should say as most, because we don't know all town, but as town meeting members are aware, Proposition 2.5 implemented statewide. So like, you introduce 2.5 above, and then you kind of explain it more in the next paragraph.
Okay,
I think it flows pretty decent where it's at, but
but the
I think the sentence is a bit of a mouthful, that's
yeah, no,
all.
it is.
you
Yeah,
want to reword the
Needs to be-
sentence.
Because it's run on,
least
that's
two.
why.
I was on a roll.
That's okay.
That's all, you can fix that.
Dump it in.
That's just a run-on sentence.
Yeah, it just needs to be broken in
Program
half somehow.
and let it
Right.
reword it.
You know, I'm kind of stuck on, I hate to go back to this, but that, the preceding paragraph about the 24.4 million capital support, but we were only able to recommend 2.3 million. Do we need to expand on why we could only, in a short verbiage, of why we only could recommend 2.3 million?
Or we could put, because of limited available funds, typically the town uses free cash to fund these projects.
And that's what I would put in, because somebody would say, well, what do you mean? Why could you only recommend that? And I think a good follow-on would be exactly what you said. Any,
Due to
comments?
limited free cash? Is that enough, after that, obviously?
I would write, we are only, instead of we are only, the capital improvement committee
Yeah,
was only able to recommend, because they looked at all the requests
Yeah.
that were made, including the long-term capital.
I would say that, and we can look at this both ways, but we do certify about 5.4 million in free cash every year, so that's consistent. So if we say that it's limited, is it limited to the point where we wish that we could certify more, or, because we're using almost everything for
Yeah.
short-term capital.
understood.
So I don't know how we would word that.
Well, it just raises the question, why were you only able to recommend 2.3 million? Unless you were directly tied in with the conversations. I'm talking about from a town meeting perspective, because that's who's reading this.
Gary, isn't the reason for that that the stabilization fund has to be replenished, or there's a reason that
Well, no, because this year we have the $1 million for the long-term
Long-term
capital. Yeah, so
capital,
theoretically, we've dropped down the account by $1 million, and also the school, the field, by 369,000. So those are right off the top. Those come right off the top of the free cash, because we funded the article, and
Yeah.
so typically it would be 5.4 million, but realistically, it was like 4.1. And the remainder of it was spent in the fall.
But we haven't spent 5.4 million on capital, right?
We spent about 4.1.
Okay.
The remainder of the 2.3 and the difference was spent in the fall town meeting. So we could put, in addition, collectively, the departments were seeking over 24.4 million capital support, and as noted, we are only able to recommend 2.3 million due to limited available free cash, something like that.
That's enough.
Yeah, well, no, you're right, it deserves an explanation.
Yeah, limited
And
available.
what did you say, Terry changed?
I don't want to say free cash, surplus revenue.
Yeah.
We could say
Yeah,
surplus
that'd be
revenue.
better. Just put that, limited surplus revenue, yes. That's fine.
So you're going to put a period after capital support and then something about,
Yeah, I wouldn't, that's good, Terry, and then we were only able to, because of what you said,
But I
surplus
thought Terry
revenue.
wanted to change the "we" to capital
Yeah, I
planning
think the
committee?
capital improvement
all right.
committee.
Capital improvement.
All right, whatever.
Because they're the group that looked at everything.
Well, they're the ones that
Yeah.
recommended it, yeah, we didn't.
Yeah.
So we're only able to recommend due to limited surplus revenues. Where was that, Terry?
So we're taking out an as noted above, right? Are we?
Where was that?
Paragraph.
Second
So
paragraph,
the in addition, yeah.
Okay, get rid of this?
yes.
After capital support, put a period,
For kids using that.
and take out and as noted above.
They can cheat using that.
Because it's not relative to 2.5, right? It's relative to available surplus revenue.
And change "we" to capital
to the yeah.
improvement,
Yeah, that'd be more direct, yes.
right, 'cause it's not us.
Capital
Yeah,
improvement
for once,
committee.
you're right.
Wow, we're gonna change this.
It was only.
Was only? Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was only
only.
able to
That's
recommend.
right.
Yeah, no, that's good, that's
Fine, very good,
accurate.
very good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy.
Should we say should it be the capital planning committee?
Glad to hear that.
Yeah. So this is your,
Yeah, so I think if you put, after significantly, you put a period,
You have to take out in addition. We can't have two paragraphs signed with an addition.
Yes, true.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know he was gonna start that one.
It's a popular way to start.
while reviewing, I don't know.
While reviewing. So if you could, at the bottom, put, where it says Town of Dartmouth, it says after significantly, put a period, and then just make a capital T.
Yep, I like that. That's short and to the point.
Yeah. All right, so let me just read it again. While reviewing the 25 budget in detail, we also looked at actual expenditures from 2021 and 2023, excluding debt service. Expenditures increased 4.822% on an annual basis, with the expected revenue limited by Prop 2.5, state aid flat, not keeping up with inflation, and with current debt service low, but expected to increase significantly.
I think after inflation, you need a period and start a new sentence.
Yeah, there's something wrong with
Yeah,
these,
it's
that
too long.
It's
sentence.
too long, so you just need to stop
too long.
after,
Yeah, yeah.
to keep up,
Yeah.
All right,
to
that's
keep the
good.
pace up with inflation, period, and
There's a
then,
run-on
All right,
sentence
so
right
just,
Yeah,
There's
that
one on.
sounds good.
yeah, and then current debt service is low, and then kind of pick it up from there, current debt service.
there. Yeah, it is long.
And is anticipated to increase, and,
has increased significantly.
yes,
This is nobody but is.
what is expected to increase significantly.
Much better.
Yeah,
The town of
good,
Dartmouth
But
is
covered
able
all
for
the points.
financial challenges.
Excellent,
good.
very nice.
And then, like Carrie said, now this is all town meeting members aware Proposition 2.5 implemented statewide in 1980 places constraints on the amount of overall property taxes that can be increased. Over time, this constraint has forced some valuable trade-offs and efficiencies. In a time of new growth, these trade-offs can be accommodated.
Should that be expenditure or expenditures, Terry?
Expenditure, yeah.
Expenditure?
Yeah, just hit
Yeah.
the thing,
Mine auto-corrects it too.
yeah.
Has been, yeah. That's on an annual basis if you go back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. However, in recent years, Dartmouth population growth is declining. Taking into account inflation per capita income has been growing very slowly. That's why we got to take that 2025 out. New residential and commercial growth has declined. Is that true? Has new residential and commercial growth declined?
Yeah.
Yes, we saw that in the chart.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, all right. New industrial growth, with the exception of marijuana-related business, is declining.
Oh, one second, let me just read this one second. New residential and commercial.
Yeah, what does that mean? Does it mean business growth or
I would take
physical
that out of there
growth?
completely.
Yeah.
I would too, because it's misleading. You can mean physical growth, or you can mean business
Right,
growth.
yeah,
Right, that's true.
right, it's very vague. It's not,
Does
Yes.
open the door to a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
Very true.
Doesn't it?
and here you could put, new, new industrial growth with the exception of marijuana.
That's incorrect. The marijuana-related businesses, that's retail, it's not industrial.
Yeah,
Right,
So that's an incorrect. Industrial growth is declining. Marijuana-related, that's retail.
no, well,
And,
Well, commercial, when you call it.
What's that?
By our tax base, when you call it commercial.
just take out the
well, if they're
marijuana.
if they're growing marijuana,
it's
it's
not-
industrial, right?
Well, that's splitting hairs, but
Yeah. Well, marijuana's been a bust, right?
yeah, I wouldn't even, I wouldn't
I
even.
do
wouldn't
just
even
eliminate it.
want to mention it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't include it in
I know, I would just take it right out of there, you're only opening a can of worms.
Does lead to someone wanting to raise their hand and saying, how much have we made?
It just, yeah.
I'll try something, think about it for a while, but maybe.
yeah.
That's
So-
what we say, good thing Gary's here.
Yeah, it's not, it's not.
Yeah, this is good.
So should we eliminate the whole marijuana thing?
yeah.
Yes.
I would
Probably don't
eliminate
even
any
need to say
reference to
requiring, in
marijuana.
some cases, just say requiring additional services, because they do require additional services.
Marijuana-related
Additional
business has
services, yeah.
brought in
Yeah, it's not in some
$100.
cases, it's pretty much as you age, you're gonna require more services. That's just a fact.
Okay, so,
Inflation and pressure on employee.
all right,
Yeah.
let me just read it again. However, recent years, Dartmouth's population growth has been declining. Taking into account inflation per capita income has been growing very slowly.
And the percentage of elderly has increased, requiring
Percentage
additional.
only has
Yeah,
increased.
that
right?
could probably be one sentence there.
Inflation and pressure on employee compensation and benefits have increased. and the number of unfunded federal and state mandates are growing as state aid is declining
Yeah.
when factoring inflation. So is that paragraph okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better.
I
Yep.
think it's better.
Okay. What makes a municipal operation like the town of Dartmouth even more challenging is the fact that the ability to increase revenue is not related to expenses. If a business has a cost increase and can increase its selling price or accept less profitable and maintain its business, municipalities incur costs, increases in costs, but lack the ability to pass increases in expenses without overrides. They also must present a balanced budget so they can decrease profit because there is none. Within the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, there are many municipalities in similar circumstances. Now, I think this was the paragraph I wrote last year,
You did, yeah.
and I don't know if we want to repeat it. I mean, do we want to just keep it in there? Because it really is,
I don't think,
It's-
it's real, I think that it's,
reality.
right.
It's still relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant.
I don't think anybody's going to be
I would keep
comparing
it
this.
in. Yeah, I would keep it in. I
Yeah,
don't,
it's relevant.
why take it out?
To the
It's just a good point.
You could always write in the
Absolutely.
last sentence, there continue to be many municipalities. And that would just update it,
There you go.
which is a fact. 'Cause
Yeah, there continues to be
There
many.
continues to be many
Take
municipal,
out R, yeah.
Thank you,
There
Terry.
Continues
There you
to
go,
be.
perfect.
That's
One
good,
over is the latest one.
yeah.
we don't want to plagiarize your own memo.
Somebody's gonna run it through that program.
I think the last paragraph looks good. I think we should keep it in there.
Okay, so the average property tax in Dartmouth is $3,828. That's
Yes.
the number you, excluding fire district fees. With the average state bill,
Can I comment about that?
okay,
So when I look at the state website,
It says 78, doesn't it say something?
no, it's actually,
Crazy.
for Dartmouth, no, it's 4,000 something.
Oh, did it
If
go
you
up?
look at, it's the site,
4289, or whatever it
it's
was?
the Mass Gov, whatever site. Because I looked at it, it's not coming up right now, hang on. I know you can't see it, but the people on either side of me can find it, see it. Hang on. Oh, God. Naturally. Oh, here we go. So let's go to 2024. It was
that projected?
higher.
Oh.
That's one thing, and while I know, if you look at it, the top of the chart says 7,400, which
Yeah,
is terribly
4,609.
inaccurate. But if you go
Yeah,
down
so-
to the actual map where it has Dartmouth, $4,822 is what the state, what it says for the average single-family tax bill.
It's a big difference.
that's a big difference.
That is a big difference. That's one comment I wanted to make, was where the information came from. And then also, if you look at the average state tax bill of a little over 4,000, who are you comparing that to? Because it's obviously higher than that.
What's the state average, 7,800?
Yeah, that's what it said, this did, yeah. 7,400.
So I'm wondering where that,
My other comment would be, while we're on that one sentence that I'm dissecting, is we should include the fire district fees. And I say that because we're probably comparing to towns where that's all included because they have a non-volunteer fire department.
so we don't know by that, we don't know by what the state's calculating if in fact they're.
Well, we
taking
don't
in-
know that either, of
Yeah.
course.
But if it's on the state website, we should just use that number and state that it's on the state.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
agree.
a little concerned about the fire districts. Do we put
Because as you
in?
know, many people pay higher taxes because they have a full fire
Yeah,
department.
Fall River.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's all
Different
included.
rates. We have three
Right,
different rates.
right.
We'd have to figure out how many
No,
people.
we do have three different rates. We could do an average or something of them, maybe.
But it is true.
Because
It's-
they
it
are
is-
dramatically
It is
different.
skewed if you're trying to compare.
Very skewed.
One town to.
Yeah,
because,
like-
volunteer fire departments are not the norm throughout the state.
Correct.
Right,
No, not all.
They're all
Correct.
incorporated
Staffed,
into
yeah.
the municipality. and,
right. Districts are, yeah.
And the other thing I question, and I had questioned this in the past, is, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to say it right, some towns have a split tax rate and some don't, and that has a dramatic difference on who you're comparing to.
Right,
So
whether
we
it's
have
all
a split-
residential, whether it's all
Right, we have a
commercial,
residential
both.
rate of eight
Yeah.
something, and then we get compared to these other towns
Right,
that aren't splitting their
Right.
tax rate. So if we didn't split our tax rate, we would be much higher. So it's a hard number to
yeah. I think the
land
town did
on.
have a single tax rate a while back. Then when all the big box stores moved in, then they said, okay,
have
little mom and,
Right,
little.
but now
little-
it's, and I don't, what is the commercial rate? You probably know. I don't know, off the
different-
top of my head.
It's different, well, it's 9, I don't know off the top of my head, I think it's 9 something per thousand for the residential and, or 9 for commercial, and then 7 something for,
Oh, I think it's higher than that.
oh, 11 something, I'd have to look. The exact number.
Anyway, it's hard to land on those numbers, to put that out there
Fire
as a
districts
general
change.
comment.
The fire districts change. Those are different.
Right, that and the fact that the state has completely different numbers.
Yeah, so do you want to revamp this to say,
It should be higher.
mimic the
I think it
states?
should be higher.
It should be higher
Because
than
it's gone up over even the course from one year to the next, it's gone up
Yeah.
$3,800.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at my own tax
that. I'm
bill.
looking at 2023, and it was 4,609, and she's looking at the most recent one, and that's 4,800. That's a lot different than 3,800, $1,000 more.
So we can change it, but then we have to also, are we going to try to put in an average for the districts?
I think we just want to use the state numbers.
Because I can't tell, I would say maybe we,
Or just use the state numbers.
Oh, I see.
yeah, and then don't mention anything about the districts.
I would.
Well, we don't know what the state numbers
Yeah,
include, so that's,
right.
problem number one.
Yeah, but I think if we.
But it is,
Severance.
comes right off the state website.
So it was 4820.
4,822. Why don't you just put that according to the state website?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just that
According
one.
to,
822?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah, I put
I
down
like-
according to the state
yeah,
website.
according to mass.gov.
And that's your reference.
Average property tax.
Yeah, I would leave that right in there, according to
According
mass.gov,
to-
the average
And
property
that
tax in
explains your
Dartmouth.
rationale right there.
Yeah,
Average property-
yeah, and they can go right to the website, I mean, because you just said it, I pulled it up, and boom, there
Exactly.
you
There's
go.
your
Well, that's what I
reference.
was-
So
yeah.
nobody
And it
can-
also compares it to other places, so people can go on and see.
Oh, no, it's a great little map, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. There's a document there too, which like kind of pulls up a
Yeah.
lot of more information.
Is that Divisional
about it.
Local Services?
Yeah.
I was on the assessing
Yes.
department, but you're on.
DLS, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's good.
Of course, if you put up the
That should
state
qualify.
average single-family tax bill of 7,400, we'll get everybody a little frightened.
So, Gary, where did the $3,800 figure come from?
Probably from last
I'd have
year.
to go back, I thought that we got that off the assessors database.
So,
It was
I'm
inaccurate.
not sure if,
why are we relying on the state when we have our, I'm a little bit embarrassed to say according to the state. Shouldn't we know what our average, the town of Dartmouth?
Well-
Somebody, you, the assessors, know what the average tax bills in the town of Dartmouth?
I mean, I could pull the information up, but that would be our information. So
And
whether
I'd
we
rather
put,
have-
whether we put at, per the town of Dartmouth or,
In 2024, it was 4822, according to which the Division of Local Services has what we tell them.
That's
So
exactly what I was
they
gonna
don't
say.
make up the data.
So there's your.
That's what I'm
ac-
saying. Why?
Well, there's your accuracy right there, because they're getting our information, so, I mean, you could do it either way, John.
So why do we want to mention the state? If we're providing the
Well, if
information
we-
to the state,
if they're
why are
using
we
that in
giving
their
them credit?
calculations,
Discrepancy though, so.
Well, right now, he's not matching either one of those years, John.
he's not.
So here's a question.
He just hasn't asked a question of the assessors, that's,
so I would, yeah, I kind of agree, maybe we don't put the Massachusetts Division of Local Services, maybe we just leave it.
But
leave
there's
that
a
out.
$1,000 difference there, so if somebody, if a town meeting member pulled up on their phone, they tried to figure out, what number would they see? Can they see it from the town, or would they see it from the state? Do you know what I'm saying? So like,
Well-
if they were in the middle, if they were doing their own private research, can they
Yeah,
go to
there
the
you
town
go.
of Dartmouth and see the average
They would
property
prob-
tax, or
No, they would probably
No.
go to the. they
So
would
they're gonna
go
go to the state, and they're gonna see this, and they're
And
gonna
so
think
they-
that we're
and
not
they're-
giving them
and-
accurate, relevant information.
And there's exactly my point.
And you could find it in other charts as well, because I've pulled this
Right.
data a lot, especially when we were looking at the overrides.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, we do a lot of
So,
town
If you wanna do,
comparisons.
if you wanna do a credibility check, you could, okay, take that, what we've researched from the state, and just, you could go in, Gary, and just say to your assessor's office, does this make sense to what the state
Yeah.
has given us?
Maybe we say the average property tax in Dartmouth is, and then, period. And then at the end, and then put, with the state, I don't know if we want to do anything with the fire districts, but with the state average tax bill, a little over whatever that dollar amount is, according to the Massachusetts Division of Local Services.
Yeah, put it
Yeah,
at the
something
end.
like
Put it
that.
there.
Well, the only
Because
thing,
the state is, if we're saying it's a state average, then we can reference the DLS for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because Dartmouth's not gonna have it. So what's the 4,000 number? What are we gonna put in there for the 4,000 number?
So the average property tax per year, for the Division of
You
Local
get that,
Services.
Janine?
Should I put?
yeah, it was 7,400.
7,400,
The average
yeah.
tax in Dartmouth is 40. Okay, we'll get rid of this. And we're not sure, according to the, we're not sure if the data on the DLS is excluding fire districts. So
No,
I
we don't know.
would maybe take that out of there,
Take that, out, yeah.
because we're not 100% sure what the DLS is saying
Right.
on their website.
No, it's most likely including fire districts because of the point that John made that, you know, Massachusetts does not have a lot of volunteer
Yeah.
fire
Yeah.
departments.
Yeah,
So their tax numbers reflect that.
Right.
So do you want me to put including? Or do-
Well, it's not including right
We
now.
don't know that. I
We
think
don't
the whole
know
thing
either,
out.
Yeah, we don't
whether
know.
it's excluded or included, so I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, no, I agree, you can't say it.
Yep.
So this was 78,
What do you got, Jane?
7,400.
per year. Okay, now here we put according,
That's according to Massachusetts. Right. Division of,
Jesus.
It's Division of Local Services in the
Local
Department of Revenue.
yeah, Local Services Department of Revenue, right.
Okay. Average property tax $1. Yeah, that makes a little more sense because we're referencing 7,400 from their website.
Yeah.
Okay, so, looking ahead, the Finance Committee is very concerned about the town's ability within the current 2.5%. Current 2.5%, should we shut?
Well-
It does make just,
Looking ahead.
town's ability within the current 2.5%.
That thing was something Terry added. Was
The
it something
current
added?
controls of 2.5%, the current mandate of, I don't know,
Ahead the finance
current
committee.
Current
something,
mandates.
from 2.5%.
The current
From
mandates are
proposition.
Proposition 2.5.
There you go.
Looking ahead, the finance committee is very concerned.
Actually, that sentence, Bob, I
No,
don't know if
you-
you want
you
to put it in. Members of the Finance Committee have had discussions with us state representatives and have received feedback that there will not be an adjustment in state or local aid.
Well, let's just finish this line first, right?
So we're here right now.
Looking ahead, the Finance Committee is very concerned about the town's ability within the, what did we say?
Current 2.5% threshold.
Why don't you put that at the very end of the sentence? You can say, due to the
No, you
town's
said it, what was
ability.
it, current
to
mandates
raise-
or
Yeah, current,
controls?
yeah, current.
Put it at the end of the
After
sentence.
current, put mandates, after current.
Over here?
Current
Within the-
2.5%, Proposition 2.5% mandates.
Current 2.5%.
Okay, so we start here. Looking ahead, the finance committee is very concerned about towns within the current,
Proposition 2.5.
Proposition 2.5.
mandate-
Mandates.
Mandates after that.
It should be limits rather than.
Limits.
mandates, I think.
What was it, Terry?
Limits.
Shouldn't it be limits?
Ah,
rather than
yeah, better
mandates?
word.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
limits.
good.
Proposition
To raise
2.5%
revenue for capital
limits.
project and
It's
contractual
parameters.
obligations.
Parameters, yes, it's true.
That statement there
I
about.
like limits because it's really putting it in your face to the town to say, we're limited, what are we gonna do? We don't really have a lot of options here.
I did want to say something, and that's why I put the thing in there about talking to state, because I think it's a logical conclusion for people to think that because our state aid is flat, that we should work with them to get more, and it's not gonna happen. We're 269 out of 351 towns in terms of our tax rate, and I just think we have to shift the focus to how we're gonna do
I see
this
what you're trying to
ourselves.
say.
So that's here.
But that was, that, you know, that, I didn't speak with state reps, so
I did,
just-
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I put it in last year, because I did it last year.
Members of the finance
But I think,
discussed with our state representative.
but I think that line, the current path is unsustainable, needs to be addressed with collaboration with between all stakeholders. Should stay. But members of the finance, you should eliminate the members of the finance and have,
I think the discussion has to go far beyond one
yeah,
conversation.
yeah. I think
And
sta-
multiple
and
state reps.
stakeholders, Yeah, all the stakeholders. I
Right.
mean, I think
That's-
the-
When they're getting rid of that line?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, I can't figure out how to make it flow better anyway.
Raise revenues for capital projects. Current path is unsustainable, and needs to be addressed with all stakeholders.
Yep.
So I got to count, after 2.5% limits to raise revenue for capital projects and, oh, you moved me around, capital projects and contractual obligations, there's a lot more areas that are exceeding 2.5%. We've got health insurance, we've got utilities, all growing over 2.5%. So it's not just,
Well, that's the
capital
contractual obligations kind of summarizes a lot of that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Healthcare.
I mean, you can list it out,
projects.
but,
Yeah. We want to mention utilities. I don't think we need to mention it all, but
yeah.
Or raise
maybe,
revenue for-
and
such
others,
as,
et cetera,
I
because,
would do
Yeah,
it
yeah.
such as.
Such as,
Such as.
such as.
that's good, yeah.
Yeah, because there are a lot of things that are exceeding 2.5.
There is.
Probably everything is.
Everything is.
Yeah, just about.
But those are two of probably the key ones.
Yeah.
Our raises haven't exceeded 2.5%.
Ability to reach, well, that changed that, ability to reach the current ones. No, I don't want that. Okay. You want to leave it, we must continue to work.
Should we say, oh, yeah, must continue. I was gonna say, we have worked with the school board.
Well, you know,
Oh, we
it's
can- oh, we-
forward
Yeah,
thinking.
We
yeah,
continue
okay.
to work.
Must
Yeah,
continue.
no,
Yeah,
it's
okay,
forward
that's good.
thinking, and it's what we should do.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like it. There needs to be a comma after ability and before within.
Well, why don't we say, we will continue to work?
Yeah,
you go.
Will
Better.
be in here.
All right.
Oh, I like that.
Be proactive.
There you
Yeah,
go.
We
Gotta be a
will
comma
continue
where?
to work. Yeah, you need a comma after ability before within the blue. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
No, that's gonna change.
Oh, within to reach, oh, just put a comma, I think, I don't know, maybe we don't need a comma there, but,
Yeah.
No, you don't have to put a comma.
No, no.
Okay.
All right.
Conclusion.
Yay.
Oh, we got a lot to discuss in
Not a short one.
conclusion.
Over the past several months, the town of Dartmouth, like most employers, has seen inflationary pressure, slow supply chains, and growing number of unfulfilled positions due in part to less than competitive compensation. My question on that, I don't know, I think the supply chain situation is probably rectified this year, so should we take that out?
Oh,
Well, it's, may not be completely rectified.
I'm not sure that that's
I-
completely rectified, yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Maybe in
I
some
wouldn't
industries
leave
it has, but not in all of them, I don't think.
No,
Okay.
I think it's worth mentioning,
yeah, it didn't jump out.
because you
at me.
still have inflationary pressure caused by that, Bob.
Yeah, no, I understand, but,
Yeah,
you know,
things
we
like
don't have
prices
people,
skyrocketed.
you know,
It
binging on
affected-
toilet paper, you know?
It affected
No,
capital
but
because
things like.
But there's other
building
things that you
supplies
still
have
can't
gone
get your
up.
hands on.
All right, that's fine, that's
the
fine.
capital committee said they had ordered vehicles and they couldn't.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
there's still
that's,
some.
oh, that's right, the vehicles are not.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
okay.
exactly right.
Yeah,
You
okay.
want to say competitive compensation package? Because it's more than compensation, there's people on company.
The,
Good point.
do we have a lot of unfulfilled positions, Gary?
I know in the DPW, there are a few.
The,
I think the department, that department has the most.
The
And
police
mostly
department has
laborers.
some too.
Right, the
Yeah.
police department did have a
And
few
so does
as
the school
well.
department
Yeah,
has
they-
open positions.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but
DPW is
there
the
are a
most,
lot,
but they're
though,
all,
I guess.
it's spread amongst them, all
You know,
the
is it
town.
1%, is it 2%, is it
I'm not sure what the
10%?
percentage is, but I know that they were looking for a lot of like laborers and,
All right, so it's still an issue, right?
So how about
Yeah.
instead
That's still an issue, I
of,
think.
could you say, instead of a growing number, could you say difficulty filling, unfilled, difficulty filling positions due in part, rather than saying a growing number? Because that's a theme that we've heard pretty much across all departments.
so,
Yeah. That sounds,
Yeah.
we're gonna put that
Fair.
there?
Instead of a growing number,
Yeah.
I would write difficulty.
Challenges.
Well,
Difficulty, filling,
we are having difficulty, you can't just say a growing number, so,
Or we are challenged with a filling.
I would say difficulty filling
Like
open
the
positions.
trying to make it so we don't look like it's spiraling upwards.
I know, that's
That's what,
exactly
that's
what I'm
what
doing.
growing number means, like, well, we don't know, we don't have a chart.
filling vacant positions
Yep, there you go.
in part to the less
okay.
competitive.
There you go.
Compensation package.
Okay.
We recognize that there are an ever-growing number of unfunded mandates relative to water and sewer regulations. That's still true, right?
Yeah.
Our revenues are continuing to grow, but very modestly. While the town administration is making every effort to save operating expenses through process redesign and technologies, other pressures are offsetting these savings. As a result, the annual operating surplus is shrinking, and our ability to fund both critical operating and capital needs within surplus revenue or free cash is increasingly challenging.
Yeah.
That's fine,
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, I think so.
that's fine.
Is administration, should that be capitalized?
Oh,
Yes,
good for
if town is that way,
I
administration.
know we always capitalize town.
Yeah.
I thought we always capitalized.
Yeah, we should.
The Select Board has established a long-term capital committee comprised of representatives, including the Finance Committee, Town Administration. The Capital Improvement Committee and representatives are two largest budget, I'm sorry, the Capital Improvement Committee and representatives are of our two largest budget areas, the Department of Public Works and the Department of Public Schools, to estimate the cost of most critical operating and capital needs that we'll be facing over the next 10 to 30 years.
Should probably take out operating, right? And then the capital, the needs to be lowercase. And a dash after,
Oh, okay, where are you, Terry? I got rid of,
see where it says the capital improvement committee? The should be lowercase.
Oh, yeah, right, it's not the beginning of a sentence, yeah.
And I would put a dash after two largest budget areas, dash the Department of Public Works and the Department of Public Schools.
yeah.
two,
After areas, you need something there like a semicolon or a dash to say, these are the two
In
areas.
the comma we work on.
And
Yeah.
I would take out operating, because that really wasn't the function. It came up because we couldn't ignore it, but it wasn't the function of that committee.
we believe our key operating challenges, so get rid of operating.
Yes,
Yeah. Or key challenges.
So we believe our key operating challenges are competitive compensation and benefits.
Sure.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. In coming fiscal years, the most critical capital challenges are our water and sewer systems, which are aging and at capacity in the public schools. Environmental regulations and capacity constraints will mandate upgrades, and they will be expensive. The town should aggressively seek grants, low-interest loans, and development of the commercial and industrial sectors, but ultimately, the burden will fall on Dartmouth taxpayers.
I'm wondering if we should just take out the last two sentences, because it was from last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the town should to eliminate the town should aggressively seek grants?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that what you want, Terry?
We
I
want
would-
that
I would
taken
just
out?
take out the last two sentences. From that point
think
where it
that-
says the town
That's
should.
fine, it's the one below.
Yeah, yeah.
We said that last year. We listed these capital. I mean, the letter is not on the town website, so I can't reference it, but that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
We did that last year.
So we should eliminate that? From the town should aggressively, for the rest of it, we should eliminate all that?
I would take those two sentences out, but
Two?
what do other people think?
Which sentences?
So Terry wants it,
the one with the last one too, other possible capital needs.
Yeah, I just removed them.
that
I'm
one
happy
you
with
could
that,
take
because I
out.
was
The
going to
other one-
oppose the recreation centers being listed first.
Okay.
I think it looks good the way it is they.
Whenever we say school improvements, we're really looking at
That
new
one you can
schools.
take out, here, that one. That
I
you can
think we
take
should
out.
call out
Yeah, yeah.
The other one, I
new
can't see you
schools.
taking
I
that
don't-
one
Well,
out.
we eliminated that line, so,
We're eliminating that altogether?
yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Okay, so we're not mentioning any project?
yeah, yeah.
Correct.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
Well,
missed
it's in the
that.
capital plan,
it's in the capital, yeah.
and that's pretty detailed.
Okay. The long-term capital committee has communicated with the select board regarding our debt capacity, the ability to borrow at low rates for reasonable terms, and to evaluate what addressing some, if not all the needs might mean. So that's still true. I don't know about the ability to borrow at low rates.
Well, the capital committee is suggesting strongly that we do more borrowing to get some of these projects that have been on the list. And there's been a difference, I think, in perspective on that, but people who have been here for a long time have said that they used to do that and that we can't keep putting off capital projects because we don't have the surplus revenue.
It was mentioned in that presentation very clearly about how it possibly could be paid for. That was one of the options.
That's for the 30-year, but even for short-term capital, there are many, many projects that have been put on hold because we don't have the money. And the suggestion was made to do some short-term borrowing to do that.
So what do we want to change on that?
I think that paragraph looks good. It's,
No, that's the way it's written.
which part?
I just don't like the way it's written, but that's just.
I mean, technically, we did borrow and got a low rate. So, I mean, and that,
A very
not to say
good
that
rate.
that's gonna continue, but,
But our bond rating is good.
Right.
So we just want to leave it as is?
Yeah,
Yeah, that sentence is fine.
Okay. In addition to these capital needs, there is an urgent need to address a sustainable school budget. We expect that fully funding all these items will exceed the capacity of the town financially. As a result, these conversations must continue. This year, the long-term planning committee explored the potential impact of an override request. Is that true?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
Well-
there was a presentation to the select board.
yeah,
That was a
Well, I was going to
select
say,
board.
we sat in two
Yeah, we-
meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was with the select board, that was, the override was mentioned there.
But did we explore the potential impact?
Well,
Yeah.
Not really.
In the
That's different.
presentation,
to a degree.
they estimated
degree.
the impact on individual.
Tax bills.
Tax, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, they did, they could have done more, but that's beside the point.
Okay.
Oh,
This
yeah,
year,
it's
We're gonna
more.
get closer to the state average.
the sta- the-
Ouch.
this year, the
I
Department,
know.
this year, the Department of Public Schools worked very hard with all stakeholders to develop budget much earlier than in the past. The public schools made a decision to use funding from school choice revenues to cover the budget gap between what was needed and what was available.
Can I ask a question, just in reference to how we refer to them? The public schools, the public school department, you know what I'm saying? What's the right
Public
term?
schools,
Okay,
because it's a school committee. yeah.
okay.
Maybe to be consistent, we should put the Dartmouth Public Schools.
Yeah.
True, maybe that was it. At least keep it the same. Yeah, yeah.
DPS.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People may have different opinions on the next few sentences, so speak up.
yeah. Where are we? What sentence are we
Well,
on?
let's finish this one first.
Okay.
Okay, so we're done, so the Dartmouth Public Schools made a decision to use funding for the school choice revenues to cover budget gap between what was needed and what was available. This school choice fund was available because of the prioritization of federal funds during the COVID epidemic. However, these funds will not be available at the same level next year. So we're all good with that?
Well,
That's
those
true.
are facts.
Those are facts.
Okay, all right, so going to the last thing. We encourage all town members to stay informed and prepared to weigh in over the next couple of years. We are at a critical time and believe by working together and providing you all with complete information, we can make the best decisions for town moving forward. So,
Nice closing.
Yeah, it's a really nice closing.
so what was controversial? You said the last one was controversial, Terry?
Keith, that was a Pope.
Yeah, just the statement, I wanted to emphasize the work that the school committee did on, well, particularly Jim Kyle, but I think just all the work that they did, answered questions. They got it done in September instead of January, which is when they usually do it.
Yeah.
So I just
No,
thought it
no,
would
they
be
did
good
work
to-
hard.
Yeah, no, they
I
did.
wouldn't
yeah.
question that.
Yeah. So is this it? We're done, or,
I think we're done.
I think that's pretty good.
all right?
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Very nice. Good job.
Janine, do you
This is a
want me to
nice
just
project.
write to you
Yeah.
the minority opinion? It's on the police department?
Sure. What I'm going to do, I mean, we'll get through some of it tonight, but then I'll send a copy out to everybody so you can really look at it, because I think
Okay.
a
And
couple
we're gonna need
people
to-
weren't here for when we did the special town meeting rationalizations, is that the right word? And whatever. I mean, I'm not going to submit it till everybody
That's gonna
goes,
be a
yay.
bar.
Okay, and you're gonna do a graph?
Yeah, just to recap on the graphs, John, I'm gonna, make that a graph,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna nix,
The per capita income, the
Yeah, that's all.
2025.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So once I do that, are we okay to print in color and mail?
Are you working on that on Wednesday?
If you can,
So I could come in at noon to assist.
just check the calendar one
You
second.
wanna just let me know? Email me?
I'll just check, I can check right now, 2 seconds.
Yeah, I might be available on Wednesday, too.
Wednesday, yeah, that's the 8th, right, Terry?
Yeah.
The 8th? Yeah, I'm
That's when
available
you
the whole
have-
day.
You have to have it in by
8
then
o'clock.
anyway, don't
I
you?
have a meeting until noon, and then I'll come in and start.
Yeah, so I'll get them all printed out in color and then double-sided, so we're not,
Yep.
too many pages, so, and the weight too. And then we'll
Yeah, I'm probably available, too, so.
fold them. We'll fold them and then it shouldn't take that long.
Do you have a folding machine?
We do, but it's only set up for checks.
Oh, okay,
So I did them last year by myself. It really didn't take that long.
okay.
I don't know how many town meeting members are there, 200, 300?
Has to be 300, yeah, that's, yeah.
300, yeah.
We're supposed to have, but it's probably close to 300, I would think. I don't know.
Okay, so that's that. I'll close this out. Do you need to,
Yeah, and I gotta get my little. I'll do it, Gary, it's okay.
So was that a conversion to Apple?
It's a little hub that lets me put in all sorts of things, because when you streamline your laptop, you don't have as many plugs.
Okay,
Yeah.
So this way I can plug in all kinds of stuff,
okay.
Okay.
like this.
I'm a
Might
little
look
bit
one up,
envious of
I
your
think.
laptop, I like it.
Well, I do a lot of photography. I have to,
Oh, sure.
whatever, that takes a lot of,
A lot of gigs, yeah.
takes a lot of everything.
It does.
Power, can I do that? It's over here. Okay. Let's make this bigger.
Back to this.
Not that big. Let's get rid of that.
Thank you for making it bigger.
All right, I just wanted to, so we did, just to recap, I'm not going to go through them all, obviously, because I will send this out to everybody, so those are all, we already looked at all those. The reason I go back to Article 9 is because I had it still highlighted, because there was a question about the phrase, "monies to be carried over year to year,"
Right, yeah.
which, as I mentioned, I had cut and pasted. Well, so is there still,
Gary, what do you, is that true?
I mean, it was true.
Yes, that's accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess my thing, yes, the parking, the monies can be carried over from year to year, but does that have anything to do with the maximum spending?
What was the question again? If it has
All
a-
right, so
It's just an informative sentence.
All right,
It probably has
I'll just
nothing
say-
to do
Yeah, we'll
with
leave it.
maximum spending, so much as
Yeah,
just
it's just,
all right, okay.
information.
yeah,
Okay.
That's all.
this is your, okay, this is the.
Yes, I'm
yes,
sorry,
right.
this is, no.
Yep.
That was the only one that just had an open question on it. All right, I didn't write this up because we literally just voted on it. And I wouldn't word it this way, we can put that together, but this article appropriates something from various funding sources to provide for the settlement of the Police Brotherhood Union contract for fiscal years 2023 through 2025, or 24.
23 and 24.
Okay,
Fiscal years 2023 and 2024.
Do we want to do it with the plus sign?
well, I didn't add them, that's all. So what is it, 700?
700.
Okay, that's fine. I was just writing as Gary was reading this, so I wasn't like getting into math.
But is that the amount?
Can we get the word retroactive in
Yeah,
there?
that's not the amount though, Janine. It's
That's
nine-
not the,
Oh, what is the amount then,
900
Gary?
So it's, the total articles for 960,000.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
yeah.
Okay, there you go.
This article appropriates various funding sources to provide for the settlement of, is that,
Well,
Can
John.
we get the word
John-
retroactive in there?
Yeah.
okay, okay.
I'm not sure where to stick it.
For the retroactive settlement of the Police Brotherhood.
That's good, yep.
Well, that will be retroactive for them.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
all righty. So then we skip. All right, I just didn't have all the details from that one, but this is what I updated it to. This is the salary adjustments.
So that should say for 3 non-union, right?
Okay, the only reason I split them was because one was a part-time position and 2 of them were seasonal.
Okay, okay, I see what you're saying. yeah.
I adjust the compensation rate for 2 non-union seasonal positions, the beach rake operator and the assistant recreation director, and 1 non-union part-time position, which was the library tech. Accurate?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, Article 25. This article authorizes the Select Board to sell the former police station site at 247 Russell's Mills Road. Can't imagine that that's a problem. Anyway, from those of you that were in the majority opinion, 5 Finance Committee members voted to not recommend this article. The article grants authority without providing details. It is improbable the land would never be needed for any future town project and could not serve a useful public purpose through a long-term lease or a more beneficial land exchange. Currently, the property is in use as part of the Bliss Corner remediation. Thoughts, comments, concerns? I'm just going to unhighlight it.
I'll have a spirited minority opinion.
How spirited will that be? Do I need to add another paragraph? That's fine.
Keep it clean.
You weren't here for this one, Carrie,
No,
right?
I wasn't here for
We
this
didn't
one.
want to give up the land. That was majority. Okay.
I think that-
Majority was not to give them.
No, because land is a premium, so therefore.
And the article itself is very
Fake.
brief and vague.
Not a lot.
It literally says they can sell it,
For whatever they want.
apparently, yes. So it was vague. It could be a lot more detailed. That was the general consensus, was it should be probably more written up as a
You want to
project.
say
Yeah,
that
but
the
right
article
now,
is
that's the only
vague
thing we can
and
offer.
grants authority without providing details?
But what details do we have? I mean, yeah, give them authorization to sell it.
Do you want me to say the article was vague?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it didn't even say how many
If
acres.
that's what you felt like, you know, if that's the,
Yeah,
what influenced your decision,
Yeah,
then
I
I think
mean,
you should write it.
That's okay. I kept dwelling on the word short-sighted, but I put it aside and went to improbable. Try to be, you know. Anything else?
okay. Now, who's the majority person on this? A minority?
It's Terry.
Oh, Terry,
The one
okay.
who's going to write the spirited
Okay,
minority
okay, okay.
opinion, she just said.
have more to add after we see her comments.
I know, that's what I said. I can be wordy. I thought I was being, you know, brief.
Yeah, Mike, by the conclusion, John.
In conclusion. Anyway, are we done with that one? For now.
Yeah, unless Terry says something and we want to
Well, that's
comment.
all right. This is still a draft, so, and we don't have, what's the deadline on this, Gary? Next
We
week?
should have, it. Yeah, we should have it by next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday.
No, the following
Like the
Tuesday.
end of the
Oh, no, no,
meeting
wait a
Tuesday?
minute, today's the second.
Second.
Yeah,
We should have it done by Tuesday.
I thought it was the
You don't
9th.
have it done by the 8th.
I thought,
Yeah, if we have, do you think we'll have it by the 9th?
yeah, I thought that's what
Well,
I
it's
said
a couple
last
of
meeting, the
things
last
have to be
meeting.
input. 9th is what day? Hang on.
The Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Today.
I think
Yeah.
so, anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Article 26, land acquisition. This article authorizes the Board of Public Works as the Board of Water Commissioners to acquire land for drinking water supply protection in accordance with Massachusetts general law as detailed in warrant Article 26.
Fine.
That's good.
Citizens petition. This article authorizes the Select Board to issue a non-transferable all-alcoholic beverage license to Lofberg Marketplace LLC, doing business as Farm and Coast Market, located at 7-9 Bridge Street. Terms and conditions are detailed in warrant Article 27.
Bless you.
Nothing? Okay. Charter amendment, omnibus corrections, is that right? No. This article submits to Dartmouth voters for approval an amendment to the town charter to authorize corrections clarifying language, punctuation, and grammar.
That's a no-brainer.
Is correction spelled wrong?
I know, I was looking at that.
I can't see.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It was. All right.
Yeah.
Board of Assessors. This article submits to Dartmouth voters for approval an amendment to the town charter authorizing the Select Board to appoint Board of Assessor members, changing the selection process for new members from elected to appointed.
Right.
That's just the description. I haven't written the other yet, with John's help, of course, but I haven't written anything yet. That means I'm trying to trim down from about 10 paragraphs to, you know, a couple of robust sentences.
Oh, good luck with that.
And I'd like to accompany it with a PowerPoint, if I could, for town meeting.
We reserve the right to add to ours.
I'm still not last week, huh?
Yeah, it was-
A lot of fun,
You did.
Gary.
But you guys were
It was
having a lot of fun without
Gary,
me.
yeah.
Well, this is the first time we had a split vote
I
all
was-
year, and
In a long
like,
time.
everyone is always split vote, right?
Yeah, it's a long time.
That's what
We had a
happens when I
lot
don't
of,
come.
See what you missed?
I know.
Anyway, next one,
exciting.
same idea. This article submits to Dartmouth voters for approval an amendment to the town charter authorizing the select board to appoint Board of Health members, changing the selection process for new members from elected to appointed. Same idea. Okay?
Yeah,
All right. Charter Amendment, Superintendent of Public Works. This article submits to Dartmouth voters for approval an amendment to the town charter authorizing the select board to appoint and set the compensation for the Superintendent of Public Works. I will say, because I sadly because of my timing, that's the only reason, watched the select board meeting this morning. So when I heard the chair of the DPW board talk about this, I probably would have changed my votes because he's adamantly opposed to it. So it was interesting. I don't know if anybody else watched. I know you were there. I know Terry was there. Did anybody else watch it?
Well, you know,
But that's
whenever
okay.
you take control
You can
away
make a
from.
motion to reconsider.
I look at, and that's fine. And he asked for it to be withdrawn. He asked the select board to withdraw the article, which they can't do until they go to vote on it.
So is it going to be withdrawn then?
Well, I don't know that until they have another select board meeting, which is probably the next one. Is that where they vote on
Monday.
it? Yeah, so next Monday, they're going to decide, I guess. Or it'll be up for discussion.
I'll watch the meeting.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
that'd be
Anyway, I
good.
found his appeal very interesting. But I said to myself, Janine, you're going to get 2 times to vote on this, being a town meeting member and obviously a town voter, so, if it passes town meeting.
right.
But that said, Article 32, Dartmouth Historical Commission. This article submits to Dartmouth voters for approval an amendment to the town charter, changing the Dartmouth Historical Commission to consist of 7 members.
Yeah, so they've been having problems filling seats,
Yeah.
that's why.
Parks and Recreation Board. This article submits to Dartmouth voters for approval an amendment to the town charter, correcting the text of subsection 3-5A to the original election process. Members will be elected by highest number of votes received for any open seat.
That's good, yeah.
Okay. Select Board. This article submits to Dartmouth voters for approval an amendment to the town charter, changing the election process for the Select Board candidates. Members will be elected by highest number of votes received for any open seat.
Who was the dissenting vote there? You were, okay.
I'll include it in my PowerPoint town meeting. Article 35, Library of Board of Trustees. This article submits to Dartmouth voters for approval an amendment to the town charter, changing the Board of Trustees of the Public Library to consist of 5 members.
What does it consist of now?
Well, there's open seats there,
6,
6.
so, yeah. That way there,
So now they
so
would-
we ain't no ties.
because Massachusetts,
sense.
apparently,
Five is
most
better.
library boards have 6 members, which
Right.
they did, which is an odd number, and they said they could get away with 5.
But yeah, you need it to be odd in order to not have a even
Yeah,
vote.
all boards like that, school committees, like.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. I obviously have to write a couple of minority opinions, a
And so we've
couple,
covered all the,
yeah, no.
so,
And I
so,
need an opinion, of course, from, okay, this was still, yeah, opinion from Terry.
so if it's just so the only thing left is minority opinions?
Correct.
So why do we have to meet next week? If we can't, whoever's opinion it is, whoever's the majority opinion can't tell the minority what to do, so why don't you just write your
Why don't you just-
minority opinions and be done
Just
with it?
submit it and be
Yeah,
done with it.
yeah, we don't have to prove it.
Unless you want us to hear argument.
That's fine, I don't, I don't make
Is
those
everybody good with that?
decisions.
Yeah.
So we will have line item transfers to do, but we can do those at town meeting. I know last year we wanted to do them earlier,
Yeah.
but what we're trying to do is get as close to the end of the fiscal year as we can.
Yeah.
For budgets that remain. We may have a couple to do.
Yeah, I don't mind a couple, I just
We
don't
will
like
do those
10,
at yeah, beforehand.
you know? I just don't like 10.
I will send this out as a draft anyway, because, I can do spelling mistakes and blah, 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 and sometimes other people can see the issues.
Hard to believe, Janine.
Oh, please. And and other people's eagle eyes can correct, terrible grammar or whatever.
So Janine, once you have that, you'll send it, once it's finalized, you'll send it to me so I can send to Sarah?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, so you're not here Tuesday, right?
right.
Okay, so why don't you cancel the Tuesday meeting?
Want to cancel Tuesday and just keep Thursday, just?
Keep Thursday just
pending?
as an emergency,
Yeah,
just as an emergency.
yep.
And then once we get, you're gonna send us the memo?
Memo,
right,
yep.
Once it's finalized, and then,
And then Wednesday I'll meet.
once the minority reports come, we'll get that, so everybody can read it in an email.
Yep.
And if we determine that we wanna meet on Thursday, then we'll do that.
Right, and then, Terry will, we'll have to know ahead of time, because Terry, we're gonna meet on Wednesday to hopefully send out the letter.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'll have that to you way before
yeah.
Tuesday. I'll have
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna
done
try
this
to make it too. No, I can't, I'm terrible at folding. If I try to
Yeah.
fold the letter.
Well, you lick the
I
sta-
mean,
we can have you
I
lick the
can't now
stamps.
get it. So what's that?
We'll have you lick the stamps.
I saw Seinfeld, I'm not.
Oh, that's right. That was a
I
classic.
ain't falling for that. I'm not falling for that.
Great episode. Love it.
This is just, all right. Any liaison reports?
You have minutes for the
Oh, yeah, minutes.
Okay,
25th.
Last, yeah.
Did we do those?
I sent them to them.
25th.
Did we do them?
I thought we already approved them.
No,
I know we didn't have
I have
them.
to abstain, because I wasn't here.
Yeah, no, we did
But
them.
you got the meeting.
Yeah, the episode,
You
yeah,
have the minutes
episode
from,
25th, yeah,
the
yeah.
last meeting?
No, that's like 2 days ago.
Well, I'm just saying, Ginny, we don't have anything else to approve.
Yeah, no, we're all set.
Right, yeah, we don't have them.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
All right, so somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I will.
I'll second it.
Made a motion to adjourn. Terry second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Bob.